Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So I really wanted to come at you really quick today with a couple products that literally YouTube did make me buy. I mean, you know, how much is made, right? But you know, YouTube inspired me to purchase. I got caught up in what we all know is the YouTube craze. Purchased these products and I really don't think they're worth the hype. Now, I will say, if you're a beauty lover, and you just love beauty, especially makeup. If you just love makeup, you know you're gonna purchase whatever it is anyways. If you're just one of those people that like to try new things and try all the new products, you know you're just gonna buy the product. So, you know, it doesn't really matter. I guess I'm really talking to the other divas on a budget out there like me who, you know, we're divas, we wanna look fly, we wanna look good, we wanna look fresh, but we still got to do it on a budget. And if you're like me, you really want, when you spend that money, you want it to be on something that you have a pretty good feeling about, you know? And when you're watching anyone here on YouTube, especially if you're watching like your favorite YouTuber do a makeup tutorial, or if you're watching a review, it is so easy to just get tunnel vision and think, I've got to have that eyeshadow, I've got to have that brush, because if I don't have that brush or if I don't have the eyeshadow, my makeup look will not look exactly like theirs did, which we all know isn't true. But it's easy to get that way because, you know, if you're like me and you watch a lot of YouTube, it's almost like YouTube becomes life, and it's just kind of like where you get all of your information from. So it's so easy to get caught up in that. I mean, and you just start forgetting about your own skin type, your skin tone, all kinds of stuff, and you just start buying these products. So I really wanted to come on here and just kind of say, you know what, from a me to you, from a beginner perspective, I got my hands on these products and I honestly don't think they're worth the hype. So, and I'm not even going to disclaim. I'm not going to put one of these disclaimers out there that says, this is my opinion. Y'all, when you watch YouTube, you're watching people's opinion. I ain't nobody. I'm not a makeup artist. I'm not any of that. I'm not a professional. I'm just Lady T Severs with a camera, with a YouTube channel. I mean, come on people, you got to know that. You can't get mad at a person you're watching because they have an opinion. That's YouTube. So I'm not making that disclaimer. I'm just not. I'm going to jump to the products, share what I've learned, and hope it helps somebody else out there. All right? So I'm going to be looking at my phone because I do want to make sure I cover everything. I do have 2 drugstore, I guess you would say, products, and then the rest are all high-end, so I will start with the drugstore products. And I'm going to be honest with you, a couple of these products I don't even have anymore because I ain't got no shame in taking nothing back. If I don't like it, it's going back. So some of these things I already did. So the first thing I'm going to start with is the NYX Total Control drops, which I don't have anymore. Okay. Don't let nobody here on YouTube tell you that the NYX Total Control drops are good for oily skin. No ma'am. No ma'am. This is a very deceiving product because when you first apply this product, your makeup will look flawless. It will look beautiful, especially after you go and you finish your face. The finished look is gorgeous. But then what I want you to do is I want you to look in the mirror 2 hours later. I'll give you 2. I could say earlier, but I'll give you 2. Look at your face 2 hours later. Let me insert a picture of what my face looked like 2 hours later. Y'all know that's ugly. Y'all know that's ugly. This is my problem with this product. It looks so beautiful, so you think you're about to just be no. You get maybe 2 hours in before it turns into this hot, oily, disgusting mess. It's heavy on your skin. Like, to me, it feels like something's on your face. I know that you do have a lot of foundations and bases out there that feel like that, but there's a lot that don't. And for that to be a dropper type, for it to be so liquidy, to me, it shouldn't feel so heavy on the face. And I'm telling you, it feels heavy on the face and it transfers like crazy. I mean, even if I was wearing a scarf or, you know, just kind of, even if I kind of like turn this way on my, it transferred like nobody's business. So it was just very oily, very greasy, transferred, and the fact that you only get such a little amount and you're paying double digit. NYX, please, no, no. The next thing I want to talk about is the Wet n Wild concealer. Now I still do actually have this particular product. It is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus concealer, so it's in the whole new Photo Focus line. And mine is in the color medium peach because I went online on the Wet n Wild website, did that whole find your match thing. This concealer, I think, based on what you have to cover, it is going to be, it's not a bad concealer. It isn't. It's not bad at all. And if I were looking for another concealer to just be okay, then this wouldn't be bad at all. But the thing is, I mean, because it does have like a peachy tone, which I was hoping would kind of help color correct. But, this concealer is going to be good depending on what you have to cover up. Now me, I've got some seriously intense dark circles, so this just was not worth the price tag to me. And I know $24, I get it. I understand what you're about to say. I get it. But I have other concealers. I have the LA Girl Pro Concealer in my collection. I have other concealers already that are just fine. This to me, unless you have if you have nothing under your eye, if all you're trying to do is really brighten, then this would probably be good for you. But if you've got any type of anything to cover, when you blend, it looks like it's gonna have some serious coverage right here, doesn't it? You start blending this thing out, it just shears out, and it's just. And I actually saw somebody comparing this to my baby, the Tarte Shape Tape. Yes, I saw videos comparing the. These ain't. These ain't the same. No, ma'am. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about, and I've already complained about this, but I still I've got to bring it up. The Kat Von D tattoo liner. The pros of this product. It's very black. It's very black eyeliner. The pen is beautiful because the tip is it comes to such a fine point, and it's a long fine point. It's just so easy to glide that along and flick out that. I mean, it will make a novice feel like a pro busting out a wing eyeliner. I mean, seriously, it's just beautiful. The problem for me is that it just crumbles off. Like, actually, it doesn't even crumble off my eye. It literally disappears. Like, in the morning, I will start with the full-on wing. By the time I get in my car to go to work, half the wing is missing. By the time I get to work, and I only work 7 minutes away, it's gone. Like, it's gone. Like, it's just not there. And I don't see it flaking or smudging. It's just gone. Like, I don't even know. People say this is long lasting. Doesn't. I do have oily lids, so maybe that's what the problem is. But for me, the Kat Von D tattoo liner, it just ain't all that. It just ain't all that. So the next thing, the Urban Decay Primer Potion. Cult favorite. Everybody loves it. It's the best. Put this on and you won't have any creasing. Blah blah blah. This is the best. Nope. Nope. Now I have oily skin, and like I mentioned in my other videos, I'm talking oily skin. I'm talking about like oily skin, y'all. Oily skin. And so I have oily eyelids. And even if I don't put on eyeshadow, I have to put on a primer. Like, that's how oily my eyelids are. So I'm coming from that perspective. But I got creasing. I got smudging. Like, to me, I just don't agree. You know what I think? Wet n Wild eye primer. That to me is a fantastic primer. That literally keeps my eyes nice and matte and dry, and it keeps my eyeshadows from creasing, and it's Wet n Wild. So I know I was talking about their concealer, but their primer and other stuff is really good. And I think the Wet n Wild primer is so much better than the Urban Decay. I just don't think it's worth it. I just don't think it's worth it at all. The next one I want to talk about is the Beauty Blender. And I know most people mention this, but the Beauty Blender. I'm going to be honest with y'all. I would have never paid $20 for a sponge. It just, this brain could not wrap itself around paying $20 for the same thing that I cleaned my bathroom with. I know what y'all are saying, but that's the logic going on in my mind. The only reason why I have this is because my family knows that I love some makeup. I've got my channel. I'm all into it, so they know the weight of my heart is makeup or scarves. So I got the beauty blender for my birthday. Now, I have used other sponges. In fact, that's the first sponges were the cheaper ones, the drugstore, the dupes, whatever you want to call them. I had the BH Cosmetics one. I had one that I got out of another collection. I had some that I got off at Kate House. I mean, you know, cheaper sponges, and I really like them. My favorite is definitely the BH Cosmetics sponge. I really like those. And so I think I do prefer a sponge depending on the foundation. I do prefer the application most times with the sponge. I do think a sponge is definitely more user-friendly. Like bumpers for makeup application, because it's kind of hard to over-apply too much foundation with the sponge just because it's so moist and it soaks up the product, and it kind of shears it out a little bit. So I do love the look of the application with the sponge. But guys, I do not think this is worth $20. It's honestly, and I do think this depends on which one you started with first. I could see if you started out using the beauty blender first, anything else would probably seem a little bit just not as squishy and soft, because this is very squishy. It's very soft. It's very porous too, and buoyant. It really is. Like, it really, really is. But honestly, that to me is the problem. It's so squishy and it's so buoyant. Like, I feel like it just takes so much effort to put my makeup on, and I just feel like I have to do so much more with this versus my other sponges, specifically the BH Cosmetic one. I just feel like it takes me longer, and I don't know. And again, I do think that just depends on what you started with, but in my opinion, $20, no. 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 Now, the last thing I want to talk about, I know, and I've tried both of them. I've tried the translucent and I've tried the new deep. The Laura Mercier translucent powder, y'all. I did not like this powder. I just did not. I did not like this powder. And both of them went back to Sephora. I held out for as long as I could because, you know, every single person I watch loves the Laura Mercier translucent powder. I'm talking about no matter what colors, no matter what skin type, no matter what skin tone, you know, no matter how many subscribers, young, old, so many people love this powder. I just don't get it. I don't. I think it's very drying. I don't think it looks flattering on the skin. To me, it didn't smooth anything out, and it wasn't worth the price tag. So I first got the translucent one, the lighter one, you know, and I've been using the e.l.f. HD, which I mentioned in the whole Kat Von D e.l.f. kind of battle. I'll link that for you, put it down below. But I originally picked up the Kat Von D because I'd been using the e.l.f. under eye setting powder for like all day, every day. And I got my hand on a sample of the Kat Von D. I love the Kat Von D, but when I actually put it in a side-by-side battle with the e.l.f., it looked exactly the same, and it held up the same. So there was nothing justifying the price tag for the Kat Von D versus the e.l.f. I was like, okay. So then what I did was I got the Laura Mercier because I know that one is more of a matte finish versus the sheen or sparkle that the Kat Von D and the e.l.f. had. So I was wanting to see maybe if that would make a difference. I just didn't even like the finished look of the Laura Mercier. Like, I didn't even like how flat my face looked, how it emphasized every single freaking crease underneath my eye. It emphasized my pores and the texture on my skin. It wasn't flattering. And then I also felt like throughout the day, I actually got oilier quicker with that setting powder versus going back to my good old e.l.f. or even the Kat Von D. So I didn't like it at all. So then whenever the deep came out, I was like, okay, let me try this. Maybe it's the color that's throwing me off. I didn't like it either. Like, same problems, prettier color, but still the same problems. Like, to me, it's not worth the price tag. If you're really just looking for a good under eye setting powder, go to your Walmart, go to your Target, go to whatever, pick up some e.l.f. and keep it moving. Like, I just don't think it's worth it. And I do, now let me say, I do have very dry under eyes. Every other place on my face is an oil slick except for under my eyes. And I have been using eye creams night and day now and just really paying attention to my skincare and things like that. Should have done a long time ago, but better late than never. So I am really trying to take care of that from a different perspective as well, from a skincare perspective. But I just don't think this setting powder is good for those of us with dry under eye, or even any type of texture or lines or wrinkles or anything. If you have anything going on under your eye except for some smoothness, I just don't think it's for you. I just don't. So I really hope this video helps someone out there, because again, you know, if you're like me and you're a beauty on a budget, you know, you still want to look fly, you still want to look fresh, but you're on a budget. So when you do take the time to splurge and really, you know, treat yourself, you want it to be a product that is going to be worth it. And I just don't think that the products I mentioned are worth the hype. I think that you could definitely save your money, get something from the drugstore and keep it pushing, and save your money for something worth it on the high end. So when you do splurge on yourself, when it is your birthday, when you do say I deserve it, when you do all that, you know, you'll feel a lot better about your purchase, in my opinion, if you don't pick up one of these. So again, I hope it helps someone else out there. If it did, you know what to do. Give me a thumbs up. While you're here on my channel, please take a look around, see what else your girl has to offer. And if you're liking what you see, hit that subscribe button. And I hope to see you in my next video. Bye.